Hey guys, Pinobi, also known as TheAcousticKind here, doing a guest narration for Mefestos. This is going to be an Ubers battle. I'm not sure who the opponent is. I'm sure he'll fill you in on that kind of stuff. He's going to lead with a Shaman Sky. His opponent's going to lead with a Darkrai. Go for the Dark Void while Mefesto sets up a sub because the Dark Void is going to miss, which is very unfortunate for the opponent. Going to go ahead and just break that sub while Mefesto sets up a Leech Seed. Pretty okay play. Doesn't particularly matter. And all of that good stuff. The opponent's going to go ahead and go for another Dark Void here, which is kind of not the most amazing play considering that Shaman has Natural Cure, but it's not particularly bad either. It's always good to get something asleep so that you can get that free turn. But he is Leech Seeded, so we're not going to know if that guy has Substitute or Focus Blast in his last slot there, because he had Leech Seed, so he wouldn't go for the sub anyway. The opponent's going to switch out to their Weather Inducer, and so is Mefestos, most likely just used to counter Groudon and, whatever. Kyogre. I don't really play Ubers, but that's what I would assume. He's going to go into his Hour Master, but looking at the HP, it's probably a max HP investment, 404. Like I said, I don't play Uber, so I don't know this kind of stuff, but I assume that's max HP, so I'm guessing it's a defensive set. Further supported by the fact that he uses a support move, which of course being T-Wave. He's going to go ahead and go for the Dragon Pulse while Lugia sets up a screen. Obviously, Lugia is a great defensive Pokemon, so that's not going to work, especially because he's a defensive Pokemon himself. So he's going to switch out to his Tyranitar. The opponent's going to switch out into their Kyogre, which is pretty good because they're going to get the weather advantage. And predicting the stab, super effective move, he's probably going to switch out to Dialga to resist it. But the opponent's probably going to predict that, or at least some sort of switch, and go for the T-Wave. The opponent's going to use Ice Beam with Kyogre, which in my opinion is sort of a bad play, because since they carry T-Wave, they're probably a defensive set themselves. And Unstab moves on a defensive set from a defensive set don't do jack shit. So the opponent's going to switch out, go back to the whatever that guy's name is, probably predicting a switch, and Mefestos goes back into his Tyranitar to get rid of the rain. And he's going to stay in here, maybe because he needs a free switch, or because, as I said earlier, he doesn't know if this is a sub or Focus Blast utilizing Darkrai, that's its name. And unfortunately, it does carry the Focus Blast, and it is going to be able to one-hit kill even with the Sandstorm boost. So that's bad for Mefestos. He's going to bring in his Arceus, which I understood to be banned from Ubers, but apparently it's not. Like I said, I don't really play Uber, so I don't know this stuff. And yeah, he's just going to go for the Extreme Speed, which for some reason hits a Ghost Poke. Or no, he's not Ghost, he's just Dark. What am I saying? He's going to go for the Swords Dance. And it looks like this is also a max HP poke, so it's probably max HP, max attack, just going for the priority move with Extreme Speed, which is incredibly effective. And after a Sword Dance stab, Extreme Speed is probably going to be able to take this out, and is going to be a very potential sweep. But looking at the size of this video, I am guessing not. I haven't really watched the full thing. I briefly saw it when I was screen recording. So yeah, the opponent's going to bring in a Lugia since it's a great physical wall, debating why he didn't do that first, and set up the Reflect. So good move, although I don't know what the purpose of having the Kyogre in first was. Just to set up the rain? I don't really know, to be honest with you. So Mefestos is just going to make the safe play, finish it off. Since, depending on what Lugia had, he could have tried to get up another Swords Dance to be able to, finish the sweep, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And yeah, even with another Swords Dance, that probably wouldn't have killed anyway. The opponent's just going to go for a Stab Outrage because it'll do pretty good damage, and he obviously doesn't have any super effective hits. And even if he did, they would be on Stab because normal is only weak to fighting. So yeah, the rain's still falling. The weather hasn't really played a big part for either player, although, sand doesn't affect Dialga, who seems to be the main tank for Mefestos. So he's going to go into Dialga. Not sure if he predicted the extreme speed, but it was unstab and resisted, so it didn't do very much, even with the crit, which was a good play from Mefestos. Rayquaza is going to go for the EQ. I don't know if that's standard for Rayquaza or not, but it is definitely going to take this guy out, even with what I assume is a defensive set. Probably because he is Life Orb, I believe. So, yeah. He's just going to bring in his own Rayquaza, which looks to be slower. Maybe that was a speed tie, or maybe Mefestos is running Adamant Nature. The opponent is Life Orb, so definitely not a Scarf issue. So not sure what the issue is there. He's going to go ahead and now bring in his Shaman. Debatable why he didn't bring it in before. Like I said, definitely could have come down to a speed tie. So just going to go for the Air Slash, because it will probably be a 2-hit KO, and Rayquaza doesn't have a super effective move to hit the Shaman with. Although Rayquaza does have priority and extreme speed, so that is bad for Mefestos, and is even going to get a crit, which was obviously, well, not obvious, but I'm thinking it was useless, but maybe I'm wrong actually. I don't remember if he used a stab move for the first hit, but he is just going to get killed off by Giratina, bringing in his last poke, which of course is weak to Ghost, which is the stab move, and this is the offensive form. So that is going to be enough to take it out, although it did get a crit. Not sure if it mattered. That was, I think, attack form. So good game. Great game, Mefestos. Thanks for the guest narration, and see